What a historic move in the top court of the country, where for the very first time live streaming is happening. We can see court 2 sitting there, Justice Chandrachud's bench, and the live streaming continuing. It's the Maharashtra case that's continuing, where Kapil Sibal is arguing for the Uddhav camp. On the other side, we've also seen lawyers who are sitting, that is Mahesh Jetmalani, senior advocate, and others. Dr. Abhishek Singhvi also making a point along with Kapil Sibal in the Maharashtra crisis case. But before I come to the contours of what the case is about, this is a historic moment, viewers. For the very first time in independent India, we are going to be seeing the live streaming of Supreme Court. So for some of us, for a lot of you who've possibly not been in the Supreme Court, this is the first view of the Grand Supreme Court, and it fills me with immense pride to be telling you that Justice Chandrachud, who is going to be our next Chief Justice, is sitting in Court 2. Court 2 is the second most senior court in the Supreme Court. It's on the left side of the Court 1. So all three courts, where there are 5 judge benches, which is called a Constitution bench, are being simultaneously live streamed today, which is historic. It's a big boost forward for transparency by the judiciary, and it's a most welcome move. I can also tell you that, like you can see Kapil Sibal standing in, there are lots of lawyers with him. He is just where Justice Chandrachud is sitting. Right before him, after the court clerks are sitting, is a small passage ahead of which Kapil Sibal and all the other lawyers are flanked. On the left side is Kapil Sibal, Dr. Singhvi sitting. On the right side is Mr. Neeraj Kishan Kaul, Mr. Mahesh Jetmalani and their lawyers sitting and making their points. Any point that needs to be added by the counsel or the senior advocate next to Kapil Sibal, he also gets up and he makes the point. For now, he's arguing for the Uddhav camp in the case, and then we're going to be hearing Mahesh Jetmalani in those marathon hearings in the Supreme Court in the Maharashtra case. Now that I've told you the context of why this day is so special, because there is live streaming and for all of us we can catch what's happening here, I'll tell you what's happening inside the courtroom and what are the words of the people who are speaking. Eknath Shinde's camp will be speaking after they have spoken. So inside the courtroom, Kapil Sibal making certain points about how the Election Commission needs to go forward and consider the urgent pleas of challenging the Maharashtra law and before the Election Commission. If you'll give me a moment, I'll just read through what's happening inside the courtroom, viewers. All right. So Kapil Sibal making out arguments on disqualification and saying if they have their own speaker who will not decide on the disqualification, what will we do? He is making arguments on the 10th schedule. Because the 10th schedule is the anti-defection law in the Constitution of India. He's talking about it. Both the sides are going to be throwing a lot of light on the anti-defection law, because remember, the main grouse that Kapil Sibal would be having is that that certain MLAs had been removed. They are saying you are not the leader of the party. He says they came in there to form a government with the BJP. Now Kapil Sibal talks about 29th of June and says the formation of the cabinet, swearing in, everything is subject to the outcome of this matter. All that has to be determined by the Supreme Court. He then takes them back to 19th July when Eknath Shinde also alone moved the Election Commission, and the bench has asked a very pertinent question to him as we are speaking. When Mr. Shinde moves EC, in what capacity he moved to the EC, as a legislature or a member of the party? So I don't want to, viewers, take you into the technical aspects, but the aspect constitutionally that is going to be argued today is the anti-defection law by Kapil Sibal and Dr. Singhvi. Devdutt Kamath is also sitting there. The 10th schedule does not recognize a split, is what Kapil Sibal's main arguments are going to be. Both the sides are going to give their perception on this, but remember, marathon hearing, Neeraj Kishan Kaul, Mahesh Jetmalani, especially flying in for this case, a very important day today. we're also going to be hearing the arguments of Mahesh Jethmalani, and he says, when Kapil Sibal says, when I'm thrown out, it is not a voluntary act. Any government can be thrown out in this fashion. They have their own speaker who will not decide on the disqualification. So possibly, viewers, as we're going to stay with this, I'll also tell you, it is in these very courts that in other cases where the disqualification proceedings were being heard, whether it's the Karnataka crisis or the Goa crisis, it was these very courts and where the law of the land is laid, where judicial decisions are made, where authoritative judgments are given out. For now, the live streaming is only for the constitutional matters, constitutional bench matters. A constitutional bench matter is a matter where 5 judges will sit together and come to a decision. This is a huge move, as I said, for transparency, because the judiciary has thrown its doors open for everyone to watch how they are transparent and how the work of the law is being carried on to the truth. Now, as we are speaking, I'll also give you a background. Even as we're speaking on our screen, we can see Kapil Sibal is standing. There is a lady lawyer who tried to speak to the counsel next to Kapil Sibal. He's possibly the AOR in the case, and they are briefing certain points to him even as the case is on. These lawyers usually continue surrounding the senior advocate who's speaking, that they can give their one advice if needed to. I also think there's someone from the Maharashtra side who's present there with them to give them any bits of information that they need. So in a normal courtroom, we'll usually see these people, and as we can see as of now, it's Kapil Sibal making those arguments.